Hello again, everybody. Welcome to this week's MPTV Coaches Show. Ryan Dieters, Ryan Lindley, and we are here to talk about the postseason, which, I mean, you know, it's arguably maybe one of the best times of the year for players, coaches, everybody involved.
It's time to take the test, right?
Yes,
the
yes.
whole season leads up to
Yeah.
the postseason. Obviously, there's more to it than that,
Yeah.
but you want to be playing your best. You
Yes.
have these visions of advancing in the state tournament. Depending on your team, you might actually have this goal to be in the state
yes,
tournament.
absolutely.
So it's such an exciting time, and
Yeah.
so we're excited as fans.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we talk about the teams, the band is on the screen behind us right now. Let's give a shout out to them for their 20th consecutive 2A title at the ISU competition and finished second overall for all classes, losing out to a Fallon, who, by our understanding, is a powerhouse band from Southern Illinois. So, I mean, not a bad second place.
I think absolutely. Like
Yeah.
20 years is really hard to fathom, and it speaks to the culture that has been established over those 2 decades. And hats off to these kids. They work so hard, day in and day out, to put together these shows, and it's not an easy thing. And so, obviously, best of luck in the upcoming weeks as they have more band competitions ahead of them.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, let's talk about what we're kind of some of the other stuff we know that's going on here. I guess we can build in football since we got the band on the screen. They're on the football field. Obviously, we don't know a ton about postseason football yet, but we know at 5-2 the Potters are in the playoffs. Now it's just about playoff positioning the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, we talked about that last week, right?
Yeah.
You needed that 5th win, which we assumed we got. We did. Against East Peoria, and so now you've got 2 tough games. You've got Dunlap and Washington in that order, if I'm not mistaken, just kind of off the top of my head. 2 teams that are playoff bound themselves, and we got a shot. We got a shot to get at least to that 6th win, which I think would make a big difference in seeding, potential hosting. But as we were talking earlier today, 5 wins might even get us a home game.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a good position if you look at it right now, playoff points, and you're only going to add points with a good Dunlap and a good Washington, so exciting there. Let's talk just real quick kind of scheduling things that are happening, and then we'll really dive into soccer and volleyball, who are seeded, and we kind of want to talk about where they're going to go. But girls tennis sectionals this weekend. We interviewed Chloe Kendall the other week, and obviously her expectations are to get through that sectional and make it to state, so exciting there. And then cross country conference this week, boys side going for the they've won 6 in a row, the 7th consecutive conference title.
Again, similar to the band, it's just
Yeah.
that constant
Yeah.
year in, year out expectation culture, and you're seeing that obviously play out with the success that they're having as they run these courses. And obviously they're hoping that they get all the way to Dunlap, Detweiler,
Yeah.
close to Dunlap, for the state meet coming up soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And so let's talk soccer first. As far as we said, soccer and volleyball, we'll dive into a little deeper. Soccer, I mean, obviously a tough loss against Washington this week, but I mean, they're in a position postseason-wise where they could see that Washington team again. We get to host, which is always, I think, beneficial. So, I mean, maybe a disappointing end of the conference season, but this is the fun thing about the postseason. As we've said before, everybody's 0-0 when that starts.
You're right, and I think you always have to have a positive twist on things, and that is the positive twist. So you lost this game this week to Washington, a very formidable opponent, but either way, we weren't going to win the conference, and so now you're going to more than likely come back here next week as we get going with the regionals and take on this Washington team at home. That's significant. The turf is significant. We're a natural grass. It's a faster-paced, artificial synthetic surface in Washington. Those things matter. They matter in soccer. They matter in keeping the ball on the ground, width of the field. And so all of those things can play into our favor as we get ready to hopefully win that regionals and move on to the sectionals.
Yeah, and then obviously volleyball also getting ready for the regional. Huge thing on the volleyball side, obviously victory over Limestone, which is awesome this week. And then maybe, I mean, as we're talking about the possibility of postseason rematches, maybe it's a good thing. We wouldn't see Limestone until we actually were making it all the way to state because we got sent to opposite sectionals.
That's right.
Yeah, so I mean, you feel really, I don't want to put pressure on anybody, but you feel really good if you're Morton volleyball that you got sent south in the sectional. You'll still face possibly a Lincoln team, which has had a lot of historic success, but it's also a Lincoln team that doesn't have the Division I athletes that they've had the last few years.
Which is huge in a
Yeah.
sport like volleyball,
Yeah.
that you just don't have that many people out there,
Yeah.
and so you can really maximize, as we've talked about before, that talent that you have. And so to get that win against Limestone right now is that confidence boost you want heading into that postseason. So exciting.
Yeah, exciting. So, I mean, obviously, those are the big ones we wanted to talk about this week. A little bit shorter show, but we just wanted to kind of focus on those teams and kind of where they're going potentially in the postseason. So, we're going to obviously have more next week as we dive deeper into all this stuff and updates on hopefully a successful weekend for all those teams that we just mentioned. So,
Absolutely.
until then, for Brian Peters, I'm Ryan Lindley. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.